is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. We in this thing. And the topic for today is going to be
Black accountability.
And I'm going to say this. Black people, black women, black men. I don't understand how we around here saying things that we know are derogatory or slurs to each other, and we get mad when other people say these things, but we use them as forms of endearment. When we know there's a negative connotation to these things, we steady walk around calling each other's niggas. We call each other bitchs. I ain't gonna say that because you know what I'm saying. That ain't how I roll. But we are saying all of these things. But as soon as a white person says it to us, we got a problem. What's up with that?
That reminds me of the show, movie, Beauty Shop, when they call in and be like, I want to know why. But yeah, I was pumped about it when I first initially came up with it. I'm not pumped anymore. I don't know, because I got it all out my system. Not really. But, yeah, so I've been wondering this because we black people, it's like we guard things. Like everything belongs to us and nobody else can have it, right? And then we get mad at like Christopher Columbus, which he didn't discover America and all that. But we get mad at the fact that that is the myth that is told. But one of the things that that has been on my mind and that I have been questioning is the word nigga.
Huh. And hold on, you talking about with an ER or with an A?
With an A.
Because let black people tell it there's a difference.
Okay.
Because we out here talking about nigga. I mean, I believe that black people think that it's different from the word nigger. And like I say, even when white people say it with an A, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. What are we doing out here? Mm-hmm. Come on, black people. There's no difference between putting an ER or an A. And it shouldn't be a difference in who says it. If you don't want somebody saying something, you shouldn't say it yourself.
Yeah, that's been a real big part of what of what it is. And especially explain it to me if there is something as to why we can say it and why other people cannot. Because I forgot to look at the history of the word, but I'm looking at it right now. And
it wasn't at first. It was just a word that white people used to describe black people in the what is it? Atlantic slave trade. That's what they used back then. So I don't even understand how we adopted this word and turned it into something that is supposed to be endearing.
Well, I will go back to what the basics of the word Niger. Niger means.
Yeah, I think that was like Latin or something.
Yes, it means black, right?
A negro.
So if you go to the color and it says negro, that's black.
That's what they say on crayons, ain't it?
If you say when we were Negroes, that meant that we were black.
African Americans.
Okay, that meant we were black. African American. It meant we were black.
Okay. So
when they said coloreds. Okay, if people call you colored right now, it's like
it's a problem.
But now you say people of color. Like I'm really trying to figure it all out because it doesn't make any sense to me. And my question that I want to pose, and I want you to just make your valid points to me to help me understand because I don't understand. Now, I'm not going to say that I have not said the word. I say the word.
Absolutely.
The word comes out. I've said the word on camera a handful of times, right?
Absolutely. So
I've said it. So I'm not going to be like, oh, but I should take accountability because I should not be saying the word, even if I am and the thing is, I haven't been using it as in terms of endearment, right? Sometimes when I'm talking about like this, right? So it's like
so we're using it the same way it was meant. It was originally used.
You see what I'm saying? Like
you a bunch of niggas,
right? So I was using it because of annoyance, and so it's like it's a name calling.
And that's what it was also saying on Wikipedia. It was something that we use for people who were weren't black people who weren't ideal, weren't law abiding, weren't doing the right things. Were they even said that they were using it for people who were in low income housing.
Let's take it back to A Soldier Story, when the light skinned guy was jealous of the big guy because he was from the country and he could sing. That's all he called him that whole movie. He was calling them that. He didn't mean it in an endearment type of way.
No,
it was not. In the negative light of, you are sorry.
You are one of those less than black people.
You are sorry. I don't like you because you coming in here and you doing this. And this still used like that today within us. And so when white people use it, I don't even think they're using it, the NIGGA, to be ugly. They are using it because they've heard it in songs, or they've seen black people come up to other black, hey, my nigga, and say it. And so they're looking at it like, oh, I'm endearing.
I'm one of y'all. Now, I want to speak like y'all. And then they feel like that until one of us want to slap them or beat them up.
Right. And so why are we hostile? What's
the difference?
What's the thin line? What is the borderline? Why? I really want to know why.
Yeah.
I really want to know why, because can you explain it? And I've never heard anybody explain it. I do know that I think like in the 90s, people were trying to say that the word nigger with the hard ER, we changed it to the A and made it acceptable because whatever. And I still don't think it is acceptable, because I was go back to how it was derived. Well, it wasn't even derived for that. It came from the dictionary, niger meaning black. Then when white people or slave masters, I'm not even going to say white people. Yeah. When slave masters wanted you were a nigger. And so how do you take something and be like, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to be the master of this word, but I'm going to use it however I want to. What? But you can't use it because your people have used it. But it's not. It didn't come from us. It came from.
What other words can you change a couple of letters and it means a totally different thing? It makes no sense.
It doesn't. Logically, this is the stupidest thing ever. And so that's why I'm asking, help me understand.
Help me to understand too.
Help me understand.
We're not saying, but like you just said, we're not saying we didn't use the word. But now that we think about it, now that we know a little bit of history on where it came from, because we know for a fact we didn't come up with it.
Absolutely. Well,
we just adopted it and
we didn't come up with it because
we're so-called gatekeepers of this word now.
Right, we try to be gatekeepers of everything, in which I'm like, why are we playing victim with a word?
Absolutely, we tend to play victim with everything.
Like, I don't even know if niggas in the dictionary. I need to look and see if that is in a physical dictionary. I'm not talking about on the
You mean
phone.
The A part or the ER?
That's right.
Either one of them?
Well, I think the ER is in there, but the one with the A. So I'm really trying to wrap my head around it, because we get upset with other people when they use it, or, you will bait other people. You say that when you're alone. You listen to that and then you say it, but then it's in a song. Like, it's culture, and I that's
what it is. We think it's black culture.
It's culture. Forget black.
Yeah,
I didn't even put black on it. It is culture.
That's what. But that's what Wikipedia was also saying, that it was dying down in the beginning. I think they say in the 19th century or something like that. It started dying down, but then we amped it back up with hip hop culture.
Tupac, Biggie, Diddy. Jay-Z.
We allowed hip hop to influence our lingo and the words that we use. And
I'm taking back this word and I'm gaining my power.
Where are you taking it back to?
But it didn't gain any power, because I still think it is used in the most disrespectful way, unless some people are greeting each other.
Even black on black.
Still, Like, why can't we walk up to each other and say, my boy, as Brandon would say,
my boy,
or, you know,
my brother.
I don't, right. I don't know what the history.
Or like the message say, my friend.
My friend. Oh, we need to get into that part, because if white people saying it, what about Hispanic people?
Yeah.
Right?
Nigga.
Right?
Tag, nigga.
Oh, okay. So, I just want to understand. And if we don't want other people to use it, why do we continue to use something and then say, no, you can't use it?
And then we're saying it right in front of these people that we don't want them to say it, but we're saying it in front of them.
It's like
so
eating,
when they see us like, okay, my nigga, and they want to feel the same way.
It's like eating candy in front of a kid. It's like eating a piece of chocolate, right? Because chocolate is like the most common thing.
You say,
right?
no, you can't have this.
And you're eating a piece of chocolate in front of a child.
Telling her how good it is.
And they're looking at you and you're like, oh man, this is really good. And then they'll say, well,
can I have some?
Why can't I have any? Well, because it's mine. This is my chocolate.
It ain't for you.
I just want it, right? And so that's kind of how we're regarding this word. So I think, in my opinion, we should stop using it. We talk about
lead by example.
Community, right? We talk about community, and half of y'all ain't community oriented anyway. You're networking, so if that's first.
There's
off.
a difference.
Second off, we're not paying attention to the Black community in order
not at all.
In order to
advance,
to make us be known, or be advanced in certain things, right? So we want to talk about accountability, and we want to sit around, and we have great ideas, we have great opinions as well, but it's not being executed because of, I think, words like this that are hindering, right? Songs that are hindering us.
Yeah.
Dances.
And speaking of songs, you remember that video we seen today? That what's the guy who made that song about a small town?
Oh, Jason.
Yeah. We get mad at that man for speaking the truth, but then we go and listen to somebody who talking about killing somebody. I done robbed your mama. I done shot your people. What's going on?
It's crazy. Or you listen to a song that just has noises. Like, what? But
oh my goodness.
You know, so I was just very interested because, and then in being interested in this, I was kind of like, well, I am going to stop using this word. Like, that's my goal, because I'm not a big cusser anyway. And I do believe the word nigga is a cuss word.
Absolutely. It's
because
a vulgar word.
You cannot go into a corporate workspace and say nigga and not be disciplined in your actions of what is coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And then we as Black people too, if we do work in corporate, this even goes back to women working in corporate, right? And going into the office, and then you're proper and you're using this, but as soon as you get in your car, you gonna turn on, I'm a bad B. You suck my, like, how we're women first off. So how we gonna do that? So
how was suck my something going? How was that even something that would come out of women's mouth?
I'm like, y'all, you're stressing me out.
Straight up. All this double standard, all this foolishness.
You're stressing me out. And then my point to that is, in the same breath, we'll tell other people, don't do that.
Yeah.
But or we'll be like, I'm this way. Why aren't you the same way at all times?
It reminds me of Bun B.
I bet if you went up in your boss's office in corporate and you said what you do in your car, you do this, they're not going to want to fool with you. Or you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are. Maybe they'll like you a little bit more because you're being yourself.
Real. You're being your authentic self.
Right. So it's all confusing to me because I just know, I don't, just the more that I talk with God and I pray, but really the more that I read the Bible and the more that I'm understanding and I'm seeing that Black people are like, we just need to be bound together, and we need to help each other.
Yeah.
And we need to do this, and we need to just do blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
y'all just talking.
First off, right, you are talking. And then that lets me know too that you don't read the Bible. So that's my job, to help you out.
I don't think we're reading, period.
Because God is not singling out the black community.
So
he's
why
not just going to save the black community. In his word, it says, if you believe in Jesus and you take him as your Lord and Savior, that you gonna go, he gonna take you up to the upper
But on
room.
that same note, we see a bunch of people who call themselves believers on this blickety black. I'm gonna do everything black in these black
Exactly.
rooms, and these black rooms tend to be the same rooms who are scamming you, who are fooling you into believing one thing, and it's not what it is. It's a whole lot of black scamming going on right now. It's a whole lot of black scammers that came up out of the pandemic, and I believe that's what's going on in a lot of these black rooms. I mentioned something about that on Facebook, and people were saying that it's the rooms I'm in. No, fool. I'm telling you, this is what happens in black rooms. They're not giving you real information. They're giving you the information they want you to know to keep you right behind them and not advance past them. Them people are foolish, and I'm speaking objectively when I say things about black community, about black people. I'm not saying it's solely based on, most of the time it is off my experience, but I'm speaking generally because I'm seeing what's going on out here, and black people talk this togetherness, they talk all this unity, community, but I don't see this in their actions.
I don't see it at all. I know we were talking about the word nigga and all this, but it's black accountability.
Black accountability.
Black accountability. And one of the recent things that is happening in the Houston area that is baffling to me. Well, it's not really baffling, but it's
Different.
It's not even different. Right now in Houston, HISD, which is the largest school district in Houston, it holds hundreds of schools. Remember, HISD was taken over by the TEA. Now, I remember a while ago in some of those episodes, I was like, I don't know if this is good or bad. Well, it's looking like it's terrible.
Absolutely.
So the new person, I think his name is Mike Miles. Might
as well be Michael Myers.
I think it's Mike Miles. Well, he's the superintendent, and he is going in firing people. He's fired all the librarians, and now the libraries, I haven't seen anybody talk about this. I haven't seen nobody, but y'all want to talk about we're networking with black people. What the fuck? Like, seriously, let's wake up, because children in the black and brown communities right now are about to suffer. And then the first thing that you will say, they're targeting us. No, they're not targeting us. It's just easier for them to get into it because parents will not stand up for their children. You send your children. I'm gonna talk this because I am tired.
And
then you will look at me. Well, you homeschool. You daggone right I homeschool, because I'm seeing what is happening. I am reading and I'm not trusting. Y'all are trusting. Y'all going and y'all buying all this supplies, and teachers, I'm a side note, teachers, whatever that child can bring to the school, accept it. If they don't have the Crayola brand or whatever, then you go buy it, right? I get it, parents have to, but times are hard. Everybody's struggling.
Absolutely.
Back to the library.
That should be supplied by the schools anyway. All this money in the school district. All of this
money.
Where is it going?
Where is it going? Why are parents having to purchase this? It's free public school.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I also, let me stick on the library. They are shutting down libraries and turning them into the disciplinary centers.
So they're turning our schools, y'all schools, because we ain't got any children in there.
But I want to fight.
Exactly. We are here to bring acknowledgement to the things that are happening, because obviously y'all don't know what's going on in your own children's schools. Y'all just send them to school, put them on a school bus, and go on about your regular life like it's all hunky-dory. When they are, like she said, they're shutting down libraries. Where the books that they're supposed to read? What's that? They are turning public schools into prisons.
In prisons. This is an easy pipeline prison. I mean, not prison.
They're preparing your children to go to prison.
One school, I don't know if it's here in Texas, but they were like, this year there's no backpacks. So what's happening? This is what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm making
like in prison, you can't have no bags.
Having a theory, right? Oh, and then I'm gonna get to the other thing, the shoes, but the backpacks. So that means there's no homework. That means there's no books. That means there's no pencils, no pens, no paper. What we doing? You can't bring your laptop home because the children have laptops.
They're more concerned with gender identity.
What is
you don't need books for
happening?
that.
We want to she, her, they, them. Forget all of that. I cussed earlier because I was mad. I was fiery, right? But like, come on. I listened to something. I hadn't read it, but I need to look into this. But it's saying that some schools are saying, like, schools are running you and telling you what you can't. Government. It's the government. It's telling you what you cannot do with your child. You birthed
and they're even so bold as to say, if you listen to the president and the vice president, they say they our children. They're not your children. They're our children. They're the government's children.
So
how dumb can we be?
The thing said that because of intruders, because of the fear of intruders coming into the school, that little kids cannot have light up shoes.
So instead of protecting the children,
because if they have the light up shoes, it'll be easier for the intruder to see, to catch them. And I was like, how does that make sense? How does that make sense?
If an intruder comes in, he's not looking for light up shoes. Half the time they got an automatic or a semi-automatic weapon and they just spraying. They're not looking for your children.
Oh, look, the little kid has light up shoes.
Where them light up shoes at? Y'all got to be dumb. Got to be foolish. And this right here applies to all parents.
All parents.
But we holding ourselves accountable.
That's the part.
Black people need to hold themselves accountable. We need to start being more active in our children's lives because we're promoting straight foolishness.
We need to be a community. We need to be a community.
And not just talk about it, because all the things that we have, all the things that we value are not from us. None of the things we spend the most of our money on are from us. We don't own anything. We're not promoting ownership. And the people that are, y'all call them doggone whites. Mm-hmm. If anybody who says something logically that's not going along with the narrative of normal black
rhetoric
stuff, you try to pull their black card.
You a black cracker. How? I'm black.
You a Negro European. Come on, man.
I'm
say,
black.
Man, I was just black the other day when I was saying something that you agreed with, but now I ain't black no more. My skin ain't changed. I ain't doggone Sammy Sosa. I ain't Michael Jackson.
Oh, don't do Mike. No.
But I'm saying,
I know what
just being
saying.
For real. Like my skin color hadn't changed,
and it's not going to change. Your thoughts have. Your thoughts, and I think our thoughts have changed because we were going along with everyone else. We were fitting in. We were fitting in, and we were being light, right? Like we are not going to touch that because if I touch that, then somebody will walk away.
They'll ridicule me.
Or they'll say something.
But I'm gonna tell you
if I don't say anything, I am a coward.
I'm just going along with the flow.
I'm just going along to get along.
And I'm gonna tell you, once we got into that Bible and realized that we ain't supposed to be liked by everybody. Right. We're supposed to be out here telling the truth. That's what Jesus and God is promoting. And that's the truth.
And that's the scary part because I get nervous about sharing my homeschool journey, right? And my thing is, I'm never knocking if you have to put your child into public school because guess what? We have to do what we have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here telling you that I homeschool not because my husband makes a lot of money, but because of the ethics and what it is. You do not.
I don't.
We struggle.
Yes, we do.
And I'm not saying struggle like, I don't know.
Like all the time, no. But it's not always easy.
I'm going to say that. It's not always easy. It is a sacrifice.
Absolutely.
So even if you are sending your child to public school, I know it is a sacrifice. If you're putting your child into daycare, it is a sacrifice. But and that's why I'm never going to knock you, but here's what you need to do, parents. Don't just be involved when something goes wrong. Be involved
all the time.
All the time.
That'll deter the people from doing wrong upon your child because they know that you are there. It's like, even, I'm a side note, even in prison, because you know what I'm saying, I've dealt with the prison system or whatever, having people that are in there.
Yeah.
They don't fool with them people who they know have people on the outside willing to speak up, willing to go down the proper channels for you to be disciplined when you go against my people.
Yeah.
It's the same thing everywhere. People will not see you as a victim if you have someone who is willing to fight.
And go back to the school. I'm really on the schools because I see a lot of teachers. There are a lot of them. I know a few teachers,
Most
right?
of them on TikTok dancing and stuff.
I know a few teachers, and one of the things in which I was talking about the Houston Independent School District is I haven't seen anybody from Sci-Fair say anything. I haven't seen anybody say, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
I've never seen any other school district.
It's like every man for themselves.
Basically, I've never seen any other school district come together and say, hey, y'all can't do that because this is my fellow educator.
Absolutely.
It seems like it's more about, I don't even know what it's even about. But to take away,
I know they're scared to lose their jobs.
Yes, that's your fear.
So it's about money.
Fear.
So the money that I make is more important than the education received by children. I'm not going to speak up. I'm going to let you do whatever you want to do to the children, as long as I get my check every however often they get paid.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Teachers can't even create their own curriculum anymore. There's no freedom.
Go with the strip.
There's no freedom. So when you're not using your brain, that's difficult.
And that goes back to these parents, specifically black parents, because like I say, we holding black people accountable. I'm black, I'm going to hold you accountable. Hold me accountable as well. But we need to be in these schools pressing on things. We need to be active in what's going on so we understand when things are moving in a way that we don't want to agree with.
Right. Like, when TEA did come into the thing,
that's when it was a problem.
That's when it became a problem. That's when Mayor Sylvester Turner came out and said, this is what's happening. But you didn't say anything during the pandemic because everybody was freaking out over something.
That's because you a puppet too.
Like nobody said anything except at the last minute.
Yeah.
And then
after it was
happening. And then people wanted to play like they're gonna take over Jack Yates. Well, why wasn't Jack Yates making the grade? Why wasn't Ike making the grade? I don't know.
For instance,
why weren't these black and brown schools
performing at the level that they were supposed to?
Why are we waiting to the last minute to say, oh no, the black schools aren't performing?
Then y'all want to blame it on the books and the teachers, and y'all want to blame it on everything. But y'all wasn't nowhere when the things was happening. When it was at a point where you could step in and slow things down or kind of change the direction of things. But y'all wait till it get all the way to this point, and it's like, oh no, we didn't want that. No, I wasn't ready.
But you were ready because you knew, and then you get upset because TEA is in there because now this Mike Miles guy is in there, and guess what? He's not gonna stay long because if you would have done the research,
do what he do and move around.
If you would have
do it somewhere else.
If you would have done the research, you would have saw that he did the same crap in Dallas, Texas.
That's why he moved around.
So that's why they hired him.
Yeah.
That's why they took him on to say, hey, his teaching degree is suspended, you guys. So how are we letting that's not even mediocrity. That is the lowest of the low to come in and be like, this is what we're going to do.
Y'all gonna let slum come in and take over?
And that's what it is.
Straight up slum.
Because you won't speak up. Aren't you tired? Are you not tired?
And these are your children. These are your children we talking about here. Your little ones.
Your babies.
It's like y'all don't even care.
Your babies. You are babies. And so it's like, I want us to build a community. I want us to get out of the gunk, out of the mud, out of the trenches. If you're in the trenches,
why are you in the trenches?
I've never been in the trenches.
Why are you in the trenches?
Like, let's pull each other up.
I mean,
this is not, and this whole thing about, like, the only thing that I really see Black people talk about is slavery, right? We deserve.
Man, y'all crazy.
You know what?
What you deserve?
You know what? You deserve to get your butt out and and comb your hair, put some clothes that cover up your body, put on some proper shoes, and go see about your child.
Straight up.
If work doesn't understand what is happening, then you need to find something else. Your child, to me, if you're married, then your spouse is the most important thing in your children, right? That is the most important thing.
But 7 times out of 10, you ain't married, so your children should be the most important thing in your life. Forget your life. You gave up the life that you wanted to have when you had children. Now it's about them.
Like, where is the accountability? Where is the parenting? Where is the stepping up and saying, I need to be there. I need to be in that teacher's face. That not in that teacher's face cussing and all that, saying nigga and calling her a B. Not
Straight
that.
Up.
Like, you.
Because she gonna call you one back.
Come
and
on.
You ain't gonna like it.
And you want to be up there fighting and pushing and all this.
And we think that's honorable.
And like, not teaching your child respect. This thing, yeah, if somebody messes with you, yeah, then you do
retaliate.
Yes, but why is it so much of this going on? Why is it so much? Why is it so much? Why is so much crap going on? And you're just like, okay, all right, we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. But they're taking out, right? Everybody was mad about Florida, but it's happening here in Houston now.
Straight up.
In Florida, he's not even taking away books. He didn't close any libraries. He banned books that children should not be looking at. That's what he did.
And y'all didn't even do the research on that. Y'all just listening to the NAACP and they foolishness because they have an agenda.
And so you won't go out and buy those. Like, even if you knew the books that they banned, you would not go out and buy them yourself. But y'all still not going out. You know, maybe some of you are, but y'all still not going out and saying, okay, let me put more into reading to my child, more into learning with my child.
Let me have a conversation with my child so I know what's going on in their life. Like when we seen on TV about the little boy who had been sexually assaulted for months. Before his mama even knew anything.
I still feel like that's shady to me. Something's not right.
How is something happening to your child for months?
Something's not right.
Before you realize it's happening.
Because my children went to school and they went on the bus, and every day I had to be there. They weren't gonna let my children off the bus unless I was there. And every time that they got off, it was my job as their mother. Are they disheveled? Does something not look right? What's happening? Like I told y'all last week.
Even to inquire.
About Ava's hair. Like, I knew immediately when I saw her, oh Lord, she'd been messing with her hair. But to see if they were disheveled, if they were hurt, if somebody did anything, you know, what they sound like, what's coming out of their mouths.
A lot of parents are allowing their children to prepare themselves for school, so they don't even see what they got on, what their hair look like, what they backpack, what they got in a backpack, because they carrying guns and all kind of stuff, and the parents don't even know about it. So when they hear about it, they just as confused as everybody.
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't know Johnny would do that.
I didn't know. Man, he's a good kid.
Yeah. Johnny been malicious and doggone getting over on people ever since you had him.
Yeah, so looking at my children, I would be like, all right, they good. And but that story there, I just feel like you didn't see anything. Nothing. You don't bathe I think it was a 6-year-old child.
You just lost out here.
You don't bathe your child or go check them and see like anything. Like we let our children have that much privacy.
They raising themselves.
We let our children have that much privacy.
The parents got their own lives to live.
we let them have that much privacy to
Absolutely.
even when they're just on their phones and they don't be respectful.
You don't know what your child doing.
I said, oh my god.
It's been cases where they have certain stuff in their room and the parents don't even know about it. So you don't never go in their room? How you allow your child to lock the room that they in your house?
And so we blame, and then, we can blame our children, but it's on us.
Straight up.
It is on us. We have to be accountable. And I'm a homeschool mom, so I see a lot of homeschool mothers.
Foolishness.
And they're like, well, how do I have my child do this? And I was like,
who child is that?
Aren't you the parent?
You gonna ask a random person how to handle your child?
Aren't you the parent? Yesterday I read one. She said her child is just expressive and likes to shout mean things to her. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how does this child know to shout mean things to you? What are they watching? Because who are they copying?
You be shouting mean things, calling people niggas and doggone.
Yeah, she said she was name calling. I was like, well, what type of name calling is
the
this?
things we hate most about our children are the things they learn directly from us.
And she wrote this in a homeschooling group, and then it's like,
was she anonymous?
I think she was.
They are. Most people who are say things and really don't want accountability for the things that they're saying, they go anonymous or they turn the comments off.
Like, I'm not asking something stupid.
That's stupid.
But common sense is not common sense for everyone.
There's no such thing as common sense.
There's no such thing as common
because what's
sense.
Common to me may not be common to you.
Exactly. And that's why we have these conversations.
Absolutely.
That's why we come on and say, this is what we do. Because
it should be common sense for you not to say things that you don't want being said to you.
Right.
That should be common sense.
That's common sense. Right? Like, don't y'all be like the golden rule? Do unto others as you would want done to yourself, right? And then, like, parents, step up. Stop using language and then say, well, where'd you learn that? You know daggone well that
if you had a 24-hour camera, you can play back while they know it.
Like, daggone
you did that.
Well, we need to get back to basics.
Straight
we need
up.
To get back
fundamentals.
To reading, writing, and arithmetic, and
Straight
then come into everything else. We need to put these phone downs. We need to chill out with these televisions. We need to start really saving our money and stop saying, well, I don't have any money, but we go buy something that we don't need. We need the latest Jordans. We need fake
we need all this fakery. You spend $600, $700 a month on cosmetics, but you say you ain't got enough money. You find the time and the money to go to the mall and wait for the Jordans to be released so you can buy them for your children. So you got good-looking, dumbass kids.
Mm-hmm. Can't count. But they're street.
Don't even know what the 23 represent on the Jordans.
They be street smart, but not book smart. I don't want my child.
They show ain't intelligent.
Like, come on, we are losing, and I'm not talking about losing. Like, yeah, we are. We're losing. We are losing.
We in last place.
We are in last place. We don't want to be in order with a man, woman, and children. We want to accept everybody. Everybody can't be accepted. If you don't accept me, that's on you. Okay.
I'm not accepting everyone and their rhetoric. I'm not accepting everyone's lifestyle. I'm not accepting everyone. I'm not accepting a lot of stuff, and I'll voice it. If it comes a time, I will voice it. And people don't like that.
And so a lot of times people be like, well, you have to be more like Jesus. I am being more like Jesus.
What they're confused is Jesus. Go ahead.
He did talk to prostitutes. He did talk to tax collectors. As a matter of fact, some of his disciples were tax collectors and fishermen. And
but it wasn't to agree.
It was a plethora of people who he came in contact with. And like Brandon just said, it was not for him to agree. It was for him to teach. It was for him to teach. I am the Messiah. This is who I am. I'm trying to lead you. And you have if you look at the woman who he called a dog, and they'd be like, it's in Matthew, but and she touches him and he still blessed her, right? Because she believed. It had nothing to do with her actions. Our actions do have a lot to do, but do you believe in Jesus, and are you repenting? Are you purposefully going out into the world and just doing wrong and then saying, oh, Jesus will forgive me, because that's not
repentance.
That's not how that works, right? You need
Jesus know my heart.
No, Lord, you need to change your behavior. We have to change our behavior. I talk about changing our behavior, my behavior, all the time. I was not my best self because I wasn't living through God, or like I was just doing what I wanted to do. And that's a lot of us. That's where we're going wrong. What we want to do.
Absolutely.
We should just love.
Operating off feelings.
That's not. And then I was watching something, I can't remember what I was watching, but it was kind of like atheist people, or people who do not believe in the Bible, they fight so hard to be against it. But when you read the Bible, if it's not true, it still teaches morals. It still teaches morality.
Values.
It still teaches values. It still teaches a right and a wrong. You shouldn't do this, and this is cool if you do this.
Yeah.
So what is so wrong with having this holy Bible and believing there is a God who is telling you, hey, just do the right thing and I'm going to save you? Well, we've already been saved, but I'm gonna come get you. I'm gonna ride for you. You know, so we are caught up in words. We're caught up in items. We're caught up material things and feelings. We don't want to look at the big picture. We want to be stuck on conspiracy theories. We want to be stuck on all of these things that at the end of the day, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that I tell you the truth and that you see it, because I know y'all not watching the news. I know you're not watching Candace Owens. I know you're not watching Officer Tatum. I know you're not watching the Hodge twins. Y'all probably despise the heck out of them.
Yeah, you do. They probably white.
Because I once did. Because I didn't understand
where it was coming from.
I was like, nah.
I was on the same thing y'all on.
You just
foolishness.
What's the word? You cooning, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We done heard that one too.
I mean, yeah. So it was like, and then when you start listening and you say, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Just like Officer Tatum said that what was the elder Larry Elder?
Larry Elder. Oh,
Larry
boy.
Elder used to used to trigger him. But when you listen to him objectively and stop and get out your feelings about the things that he's saying, you'll understand that he's just telling you the truth.
Like, I'm sensitive about
even with Dick Gregory.
Oh man.
And what's the other guy? I can't remember the other guy, but Thomas Sowell.
Oh yeah, my guy.
Yeah.
I like Thomas Sowell.
Yeah. I mean, all of these people are telling you the truth, and because it doesn't go with the usual black rhetoric.
It's not about black rhetoric. It's because it's not going with victim.
Mentality.
They are telling you, because even
we're not victims.
As Thomas Sowell is an economist,
mm-hmm.
he is telling you the prices in the hood ain't jacked up because of black people. Like, it's not solely, it doesn't have anything to do with black people. It has to do with how the store has to run because of what deliveries come and how much they have to charge. And I said,
because people don't want to come there.
And I was like, I'm not ready to believe this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still not ready to believe that.
It's hard. It's hard to change your mind and change your mindset and get up out of that victim mentality. Because nobody's targeting you. You really ain't that important for people to target you.
But it's easy to look like we're being targeted because we're
victims.
Because we won't rise up together and build what we had.
It's easy to go at individuals. It's hard to go after a group.
I can't think of his name, but he was talking about how when he was growing up, he made this very interesting. He was on the Breakfast Club. And he said, I wish I remembered his name, Claude Anderson.
Oh, Claude.
Claude Anderson is his name. He was a while ago, but he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was stating how we fought for integration to sit in the front of the bus.
I remember that. I remember that video.
But we owned our own
bus
stores.
lines.
We had our own schools. We had our own everything.
But we were more concerned with integration
just to sit in the front of the bus.
Somebody else's bus.
And so then we lost busing companies. We lost our businesses when we integrated. And then it was like, well, you were a grand lawyer when you were just serving black people.
Yeah. Now you in the big pool now. You ain't in the kiddie pool no more.
We have to. It's competition.
Absolutely.
Not saying it wasn't competition between other black lawyers or other black doctors or other black teachers.
When you subject yourself to things, to systems that are bigger than the one you were used to, there is a bigger competition.
Absolutely.
There's a greater competition.
It's like I never thought about that. We fought to integrate, to sit on the bus, in the front of the bus. We fought to integrate, to go into white stores when we had our own stores. We fought. And then Jim Crow rights, segregation. I know it was bad. It was bad. But let me, this was a thought that I had. And I was like, they weren't saying that we couldn't have their services. It was just, I don't want you to come through the front of the door.
Straight
but
up.
you can go to the back.
And
but
get
you
the
can
same
still
service.
So you were still getting whatever it was, and
But if you would have never been pushing integration, you could have went through the front door, back door, side door, in your own store.
In your own store. Why do we want to be
the very people that we despise are the ones we want to be cool with?
That's what I'm confused. And then we cry wolf. We are continuing to
They
cry
won't let me do
wolf.
it.
They won't let me. They won't let me. They are letting us.
Straight up.
We are able to.
Half the black people wouldn't be in the positions that they are in if racism was a bigger factor as we make it out to be.
I was like, we are able to. You work hard, because you want to get to where you want to.
This is a capitalist country.
No, because people want socialism now.
Oh my God.
They don't know the difference between socialism and capitalism.
Lord have
and they will
mercy.
be like, oh my gosh, it's capitalism. Hello.
Is it their fault that they know how to capitalize?
Oh
or is it your fault you don't know how to?
Like, come on. They and even go back to public schools. They need to teach how to do taxes. Why don't you learn how?
Why would they do that?
Because they're not going to.
They never have.
Ever. Won't start.
They're not teaching you anything
They
of
about
substance.
to start taking out math too.
Straight up. They gonna have your kids extra stupid.
But
and then they're accepting these same children into college.
Into college.
These same stupid kids are going to college.
33% of college students today think socialism is a grand idea.
Lord have mercy.
That is
until they start taking stuff from you.
That is a huge problem. Then what are we really going to be saying? Because they haven't taken anything from us. There's nothing that has been taken from us.
As soon as
we've integrated, how many years ago that was, we've integrated and we've been able to enhance the poor. I've listened to one of Thomas Sowell's book, just like pieces of it. But he was saying, if you're poor, you don't stay poor. You move up. There is no,
it's all on you.
It's on you. Each
Straight
year,
up.
you are supposed to get better. If you are
going to a different tax bracket,
right? You're supposed to be. And
you're supposed to improve.
Some years you'll stay the same.
Yeah.
But if you're poor, you're
welfare was never intended to be a lifetime solution.
Right.
You are supposed to use that when you're down and out and get you to a place where you can start providing for yourself. But no, we want it to be forever. And I watched a video the other day. He was like, why don't we think that we have gotten reparations? If you add up all that money that the government has given you through welfare and housing and all this stuff, you got your reparations right there.
Never
there you
thought
go.
of that. That's an interesting perspective.
Because I know they say that white women are the major ones on welfare, but I don't believe that they're using it for life.
They find them a sugar daddy. No, I'm joking.
But we tend to use welfare as a forever thing.
And it's not a forever thing.
We live in the projects forever. Why are we living in housing forever?
Like, we do fall, like, we will fall on hard times, right?
Absolutely. That's what it was there for.
That the point of it is,
it was a pick me up.
I need help right now.
I need a little help.
I need help. But in that help, I'm still going to do what I have to do to make sure that
And we have the mentality that once we get it, I'm not going to work, because if I work, that check is going to affect my free money.
People think like that.
Well, damn. Yes, they do. I'm sure of it.
I don't think like that. But yeah, so it's interesting because we talk, like, we talk about accountability. We talk about we talk black because we are black. I might not have lived the same as you, because I know I did.
But we've all fallen on hard times.
All fallen on hard times,
Straight
right?
up.
And
So that makes me no different from anybody.
I'm different.
But like I say, we speak to the black community because these are the ones that we need to wake up, because we're black. And if we start sticking together, there's certain things that we will not, that anybody else will not be able to do to us.
One more thing that we need to take accountability for. Stop. I don't know if I'm talking to homeschool parents or what. I don't know. Take it if you need it. Stop teaching African history. We are Americans. If your child was here, they were born American. In my opinion, take it or leave it, your child should know the U.S. Constitution, the preambles, the Bill of Rights, all the amendments, the Star-Spangled Banner, the Pledge of Allegiance. They should know it all.
Yeah.
They are American. They are American.
They're not African.
They are American. We need to cut out the thing of, I wouldn't put my hand over my heart with the flag and all that, but I would stand up and respect it. I would do
respectable.
That. It's respect. What's the need for it? That's crazy, right? When you put your fist up, like what?
You have black people fighting in our military every day, losing their lives for this very country, and even anybody who has served this country, you are spitting in their face when you disrespect the flag of a country that has you in a position of freedom.
I think it's the spit coming back on you, because
you're making yourself looking real foolish.
You're saying, I don't like it here,
but you ain't been nowhere else.
I don't like it here because I have everything I want. You see how that sounds? I don't like it here
because I can speak freely.
Everything I want. I can say
whatever you can say you hate America and not die behind it. But go to another country, and I guarantee you, your behind is going to be in a jail cell somewhere, or somewhere where nobody can find you because you are speaking up against them.
Right now in Dubai, sassy trucker, she's from Houston, Texas. She be driving trucks, wearing them short shorts.
I know who you talking about.
Yeah, she be doing all that. She is in Dubai, in jail right now because she want to go there and act like a nigga.
Dang, she in jail?
I think she was in jail. She is in Dubai. They got into a car accident or something happened to the car. She got into it with I'm paraphrasing, of course, with the rental people, and she is acting like a nigga. So you can't, and especially in Dubai,
these Islamic countries. I mean,
you can't act like that. One of the pictures when I went to look at her page, there they don't show skin.
And she out there doggone looking like a OnlyFans model.
This is embarrassing. Because, man, it's embarrassing. Because you want to have your passport marked. You want to say, I've been to these places, but you will not.
You don't respect these places.
Because you don't respect the United States of America.
You think you can go disrespect
feel that you
everybody.
Can go disrespect somebody else, and you are in trouble. If you do, there is
Brittany
a lack.
Griner found out,
right? And she's changed her mind about the American flag.
Yep, She got here. She was like, I'm so thankful for this flag. Like, yeah, I bet you are. Because them Russians wasn't playing with your behind.
She should have spoke up more about it.
Yeah.
You haven't heard anything. They just went and let her back playing basketball. She should be an advocate, in my opinion, on what it is to be a Black American.
Straight
oh, my
up.
gosh.
A respectable Black
American. We have to do better because this is not it. This is not it. It needs to change.
We need accountability.
And I'm holding you accountable today. So what
Straight
you got
up.
to say in the comments?
Please let us know.
We need to build a community, not pick and choose who you want around you, because guess what?
We need to demand that we step it up. Don't allow the person next to you to fall short, to be around here talking all this nonsense rhetoric about how they're a victim, because you are not a victim, you're not oppressed, you're none of these things. They may have been an issue back in the day, but today in 2023,
those people fought for us to be in this position. I am not in this position just because. I am in this position because from slavery to Martin Luther King to Harry Belafonte, they fought. Sidney Poitier, those men fought. And whoever else before, they fought for me to sit here today and get on this podcast and say, hey, this is what it is. As a Black woman, this is what it is. Black woman, get it together.
And Black men,
I'm tired.
We need to stop with all
I'm
this
depressed.
Yeah,
I need this. What is it? I don't know. What else?
Black men, you need to be willing to fight. Whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you need to be ready to fight.
Get out your feelings.
Straight up. You shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be there.
Get out your feelings.
Straight up.
Get out your feelings. Nobody, like I tell my children, ain't nobody trying to hurt you. Ain't nobody trying to harm you. Because guess what? If somebody was, they would have already done it.
They would have did it.
It would have already happened.
But if you walk around like a victim, you're looking like a target.
Like, man, we got to do
Step it
better.
up.
We have to do better because this is it. Leave that nigga and that B word alone.
Straight
Leave
up.
that rap music alone. Leave this new age stuff alone.
Because it is nonsense.
Stop worshiping Beyonce. Stop worshiping Jay-Z. Stop worshiping all these people. And if you believe in God, then go find and worship God and get into the Bible and reading it. Reading books that will enhance. Talking to people who do not have the same perspective of you and saying, I never thought of it that way. Let me read this book. Let me gain this. I offer books all the time. I don't know if people take it or not, but it's in my story. I read everything. And there's a lot of stuff I agree with. There's a lot of stuff I don't. But I'm going to read everything.
It's all information. You can process it and take it if you need it and throw away the rest.
Like, I don't believe in that, but that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? I believe in this, and that makes that. It'll
even help you understand people that don't agree with you.
Yes.
It'll give you a different perspective so you'll have a better understanding.
Absolutely. Let me take the Will Smith book, for example. If you know, I don't like Will Smith, but I have a different perspective from him by reading this book. I'm going to read Jada Pinkett too now.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna,
but Black people, we need to stick together. We need to step it up. We need to hold each other accountable. We need to be out here doing bigger and better things. We should not be focused on the past because that is where it should be at, in the past. We are in the present. There are things that we need to do today, right now, that'll help us advance. So that's what we need to be focused on. And with that, we're going to say thank you to everybody who continues to rock with us. We'll be back next week with another hot episode. And it's going to be same aggression. It's going to be the same intensity. And we need y'all to figure it out. We're going to help you figure out. You help us figure it out.
We don't know it all either.
Not at all.
We're just working together and with
Straight
other
up.
people. So if you have any questions, ask us, because I genuinely want to know about that nigga and nigger. Like, why is that a problem?
Why?
Have y'all heard about HISD? Let us know.
Straight up.
What do you feel? How do you feel?
And like always, it's love, peace, and soul.
Bye.
Like Soul Train, baby. Chip.